Welcome everyone. It is Thursday and we try our best to learn a little bit from the Kedushas Levi every Thursday. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, Parshas Shmos, Ve'el Shmos B'nei Yisrael Reuven. And these are the names of the children of Israel, Reuben. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. Ki hinei shmois hashvatim hakadoshim. Behold, the names of the holy tribes, kasher tira Hashem shall call echad ve'echad, that when you see the names of each of the tribes, Haman nikra b'shem Reuven ki ra Hashem. The names were given, as we know in the book of Genesis. For example, Reuben, because the Lord saw ki atoya vaniishi, because now my husband will love me, Leah said in Genesis chapter 29, verse 30. Reuven is related to the word re'eh. I was told to put the camera this way, but it doesn't work as well. Seems like we're stuck. Okay. Shimon ki shema Hashem. Shimon is the name because the Lord listened. Levi apamil ve'ishi elai. So that's verse 33. Verse 34. Levi is because now my husband will be attached to me. Ki nevem es chas v'shalom ef shaloim or sheshvatim unikroim al shum. What's going on? Wait. Again, I guess it's because I turned the camera this way. Al shum. Taiva Gashmis Koin Ruvain. It's not that it's some physical desire that's being expressed here. Change charge fighting when you saw Asher, so too all the other tribes, Issachar and Asher. Ugh. It's not working. Let's doing this again. Wait. This is something that's very important now for the times of Shovavim, that the names of the tribes actually hint to lifting up all desire to the Lord alone. Reuven helakol tavos shebeni shel ishto labar yisbrach. So therefore, with Reuben, all the desire between a man and his wife are lifted up to the Creator. Yisbrach Shemo, may his name be blessed. And so too Simeon and Levi, these names hint to that all connections and all relationships should be all connected up to the blessed Creator. Matos. And that's why the tribes are called matos, which usually means like a staff, but it says Milashon Mateu. Mechalon lechalon is in the Mishnah. It says a term that it was turned from one window to another. That means that the physical desires were lifted up to the blessed Creator. And this is the meaning of these are the names of the children of Israel. That the names themselves of the children of Israel hint to this lifting up of all these things, all these words, all these concepts to the blessed and exalted Creator. May his name and memory be exalted. Let's learn some more, if we can get through. So the same thing, we see that the matriarchs, when it says the children of Israel, these are the names of the children of Israel, the matriarchs gave those names in accordance with occurrences that happened to them. Right? Reuben, because the Lord saw my poverty and now my husband will love me. That's what Leah said. Shimon, ki shema Hashem. Simeon, because the Lord listened. Levi apam. Okay, and Levi this time. V'chein hashvatim nikron matos, and so too the tribes are called, getting a little called matos. Levorzeh will hint to this. Ki hu levatel das rishoyim. This is to cancel the opinion of the wicked people who say HaKadosh Baruch Hu ram al ram avenu shkiach ma'aseh tachtonim. Wicked people believe that God is so exalted that he has no connection and no divine providence in the lower worlds. And this is exactly what we talked about last week. We recorded the beginning of this week, right? That the greatness of God is that He's able to connect to the lower worlds of Emes. But the truth is, even though God is totally exalted, it's really the essence of His exaltedness is that He's able to have divine providence on the lower worlds, and that everything goes according to His desire and His will. And that's why and that's what this idea that the matriarchs gave these names to the tribes. This teaches us that God is the one who is in control. He's the controller and comptroller of everything that happens in this world, in this lower world. And nothing happens in this lower world without the will of God. And again, that's why the tribes are called matos, which means not only the tribes, not only the sticks, but they're which moved from one place to another. To teach that even though God is totally exalted, so to speak, He also watches over everything that happens below and has total divine providence. And everything is according to His will. He has total sovereignty, and that's what it means, matos, that this movement from above to below. And that's why the tribes are the 6 diagonal directions: up, down, north, south, east, west, and then the north by northwest and south by southwest is 12. Ki Zesha Kudish Baruch Hu. Is this going to move? Are we stuck again? Baruch Elamu Mishgiach Masi Eliyonim. This that God created His world and He has control and over the higher worlds. Zenikra Kaviyashar. That's called the straight line. And this that God, so to speak, constricts Himself to conduct Himself below everything according to His will. This is that line that goes from above to below. And also the fact that the Israelites, the Jewish people, perform the will of God through deeds that are conducted here below. This is also a line that goes from below to above. And that's why this all happens through the conduct of the Israelite 12 tribes, and that's why the 12 tribes are represent those 12 directions. Another teaching, Yosef Haya b'Mitzrayim, Exodus chapter 1, verse 5, and Joseph was in Egypt. Why does it have to say that Joseph was in Mitzrayim? Yosef Haya Sham. It could have just said Joseph was there. I mean, the Hachi Kam Yosef Haya b'Mitzrayim, so maybe the meaning of what it says when Joseph was in Egypt, he never changed his name. Even though Pharaoh called Joseph Tzafnas Paneach, Yosef. But all Joseph called himself was Yosef, Joseph. And even Pharaoh himself said, go to Joseph. And do what they say, because there were 3 things that the Israelites were redeemed on account of, and one of them is that they didn't change their names, and that's what it means. And Joseph was in Egypt, not that he was still Joseph in Egypt. Another teaching, Exodus chapter 1, verse 20 and 21, and God did good to the midwives, and it was that because the midwives feared God, and He made for them houses. Perish also bottom Shador v'Yeres Shemayim. Kedushas Levi says that when it says that God made them houses, it means houses of fear of heaven. Just like a person lives in the house and that's how he's able to have benefit, so too they had they lived in the fear of God. And if it was because they did in order to receive a reward, since they were living in fear of heaven, there's no worry about this. We'll do two more. Exodus chapter 2, verse 2. And a man went from the house of Levi, and he took the daughter of Levi. It means that they gave birth to souls that were from the family of Levi. Until then, he begot Aaron, who had the priestly soul. And this is what they saw, that he was good, and also they took him from the water. That he represents the archetype of Gvura, of strength within kindness, in Chesed, as we explained on the verse in Psalm 132, verse 9, thy priests are garbed in righteousness, which we could maybe talk about another time. And one more teaching, Exodus chapter 1, verse, I think it's probably chapter 2, verse 4, I think. And his sister Miriam, when they put Moses in the bulrushes, she stood from far away to know what will be done to him. And with this we can explain the verse, from far away the Lord appeared to me. That when the worlds are attached to their physicality and their materialism, then they're not able to really understand the worship of the blessed Creator. But when they distance themselves, remove from themselves the materialism, then they're able to understand and grasp the worship of the blessed Creator. This is what's hinted to here in this verse, that the sister stood far away. That when a person distances himself from materialism, from his materialism, it's interesting, it's shalom, right? Because we know that the Balei Musar, Salanter, says someone else's Gashmius is your Ruchnius. So it's not that he's distancing himself from other people's Ruchnius, from other people's Gashmius, from his own Gashmius. Az Hashem Niralo. And then the Lord appears to him. That's what the meaning is, and his sister was standing. That the word sisters or brother, the same word, is related to, it's a concept of connection, because the word ma'acha, which is related to this word, is a term for sewing together. Umashu davak b'gash mishalo, and that he's connected to his materialism, merachok, that's far away. L'srachik my megash mishabo, that he's distancing himself from the materialism that's in it. L'deya mayasalo, to know what will happen to him. L'deya lashon ischabris v'yada adam, and what it says to know, knowledge, is also a term of connection, right? Genesis chapter 4, verse 25, and Adam knew his wife. So that knowledge is connection. Mayasalo, what will happen to him? Ayin hu shefeol of, that level of God's total detachment from the world, the Ein Sof, that he's endless, and that that is pouring down on him tamid, constantly, and he's constantly receiving life force from the blessed Creator, because this idea of ayin is called ma, what. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all later.